In this demo, I'm going to showcase how filter levels work in the filter pane. So here I've built a quick Power BI report from our video games dataset that just has some random charts. And first, I want to show you how report level filters work. So report level filters, just to remind you, are filters that apply to every page in this report. And to demonstrate what I mean, I'm going to go over here to our geography table, and I'm going to grab state, and I'm going to add this to our filters on all pages. And now I'm just going to scroll down through here, and I'm going to select New York. And you can see on the map and in the table that we're now just showing values for New York State. However, since this filter is applied to all pages, I should be able to confirm this on the next page of this report. So if I go down here to our Video Games tab, I already have a mini version of the map down here that confirms that we are just looking at New York currently. So just to confirm that our all pages filter is working correctly, let's unselect New York. You can now see that I'm showing all states here in the map and on the entire page. Let's select a different state, like Kentucky. Immediately, all of the data updates, so we're just showing Kentucky, and now we should see this change reflected on the map tab as well. So I'll go over to the map page, and sure enough, this page is just showing Kentucky, which is exactly what we would have expected. So let's test out what happens if instead of applying a filter to all pages, if we just apply our state filter to one specific page. So I'm going to grab our state filter from filters on all pages. I'm going to move it up to where it's just a filter on this specific page. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to select a different state. I'll just select Arizona. And immediately you can see that the map is showing Arizona and the table over here is showing Arizona. So since this filter is just applied to this page, if I go to a different page in this report, you'll notice that there is no filter for Arizona. My map down here is still showing data for all of the states, and only this page is showing Arizona. That's how page level filters work. All they're doing is they're just filtering all of the specific visuals on the page where you apply the filter. You can also apply filters only to specific visuals if you want to. So to demonstrate how this works, I'm going to make a page level selection from our genre filter here. I'm going to look at the horror genre. So when I make that selection, you can see what sales are for the horror genre. You can see that this bar chart down here is filtered to only show horror, and there are 3 games. And here you can see the titles of those 3 games in that genre. However, if I clear that, and if I select our horizontal bar chart here, I can also add genre as a filter just to this visual. So notice what happens now when I expand the genre filter and select horror. Now it is showing me the 3 horror titles, but notice that all of the other charts didn't change at all. And a good way to test that is to use this bar chart that shows values for all of the different genres. So you can see that horror is still here in addition to everything else. I'll unselect that just so that you can see only this chart returned to normal. If I select a different visual level filter, again, only that visual is affected. Everything else on the page stays exactly the same. A more common use of a visual slicer, however, is a top-in filter. And a top-in filter would be, for example, this horizontal bar chart is currently showing all 40 of the video games in our video games dataset. Maybe it's not meaningful to me to show all 40 titles. Maybe it would be just as good for my purposes to only show the top 5 games. Well, to configure this visual so that it only shows the top 5 video games by average community score, all we have to do is find the field that we want to filter to only show the top 5 values, which is video game title, and we're going to expand that, and we're going to change the filter type from basic to top N, And now we're going to go over to our data, and we're going to find the community score field, and we're going to drag that in to our value settings for the top end filter. Now we need to change the aggregation from sum to average, since average community score is what's being used in this visual. And we can set this to show any number of items that we want to. For example, we can set it to only show the top 5 values, which should be these 5 here. And you can see that it updated. Or if we wanted to change it to something different, like only the top 3 values, we can do that just as easily as well. Need to change the aggregation back from sum to average, and I can apply that filter, and now we're just showing the top 3 by average of community score. And that's how you use the filter pane.